I'm Rodney Andrews. I'm the director here at the Center for Applied Energy Research. We're obviously very excited about today, and I'll keep my comments brief here at the beginning to move us along. I do want to pass on regrets from Representative Adkins. Mike Hayden's family asked him to stay there in Frankfurt with him. One comment he did ask that we pass along also is that this today is also part of Mike's legacy, in that he was very instrumental in putting together House Bill 1, really did a lot of energy policy, and we're going to miss his input on that in the future. So with that, I would like to introduce our first speaker, who's going to be Mr. David Drake, who is the chair of the Center's Advisory Board.
Thank you, Rodney. Some people think I'm like the proverbial bad penny. It's not that I keep coming back, it's that I've never gone away. I've been associated with this program in some fashion for most of its existence. And that highlights a problem that today's ceremony presents, in that it reminds me of how old I am. I remember well the day in 1977 that we dedicated the first laboratory facility. And it was an occasion much like today, very festive. We were graced with the presence of the governor, a United States senator, and numerous dignitaries. And we were all excited at the prospect of Kentucky embarking upon a new path of state-sponsored energy research. None of us could foresee all of the challenges that this program would confront through the years. But this dedication today, I think, is testimony to the fact that the program met those challenges, achieved excellence, and is broadening its horizons and making a commitment to meet the energy challenges of the 21st century. As I think back to the beginning, I am reminded that there are several individuals that should be acknowledged, for without them, we wouldn't be here today. First and foremost is the father of Kentucky's energy research program, Wendell Ford. Wendell was the first governor to include a line item appropriation for energy research in the executive budget. In his second budget, he included an appropriation for the construction and equipping of the original laboratory and the authorization of a $50 million trust fund that led to the construction and operation of the $300 million H-coal liquefaction plant in Catletsburg and a 180 megawatt fluid bed combustion boiler in Paducah. Sadly, Jim Funk is no longer with us. Dr. Funk was Dean of the College of Engineering and Director of the Institute of Mining and Minerals Research. Jim had a deep understanding of the challenges that faced Kentucky and a vision of what this program could become. And amazingly, he was able to keep me from making any disastrous mistakes. Dr. Capilouto, one of your predecessors, was a commanding presence at the time. And like Jim Funk, Otis Singletary has departed us. As president, though, Dr. Singletary was committed not only to the university, but to the community and the Commonwealth. I returned from a week at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory with the idea that the arrangement between JPL and Caltech could serve as the model for a partnership between Kentucky and the university. Otis had a lot to teach me about how that partnership could work, but after numerous meetings, a couple of intense discussions that weren't quite shouting matches, and some delightful lunches in his office, that partnership was born, and the university became the curator of Kentucky's energy research program. Another pioneer who had a big impact on the development of this program served as chairman of the board of trustees of the university longer than any other individual. Bill Sturgill was also chairman of the Kentucky Coal Association. He was on the board of directors of the CSX Railroad, held many other prominent and prestigious positions. He and Jim Funk were two individuals that were primarily responsible for convincing Governor Ford to undertake a program of state-sponsored energy research. The coal industry at that time was besieged with huge problems. New mining regulations and reclamation requirements were being enacted. But Bill was able to foresee beyond those immediate problems and recognize that the more severe and long-term threat to the industry was one of markets and methods of use. It was his voice that urged us to retain our focus and sustain our commitment to addressing those long-term problems. Bill also made a material contribution to the program. He served on a research advisory committee. I flew many miles in his aircraft at no cost to the Commonwealth. And when John Brown was elected governor, Bill joined the administration and took an active role in the program. There are many others that have made substantial commitments to this program over the years. I would like to thank them, along with those that I have mentioned, and to encourage Dr. Andrews, Representative Atkins, Dr. Capilouto, and Governor Beshear, in whose hands the future of this program resides. I am honored, certainly, to be here today and proud to have been associated with this program through the years. Thank you.
Next up, we're going to invite Governor Steve Beshear to give some comments. He's been a fantastic supporter of this effort all along. Just the highlights is that he was elected governor of the Commonwealth in 2007 and re-elected in 2011. He's been a state representative, the attorney general, and lieutenant governor prior to this. Also, very importantly, he has a bachelor's degree and a law degree from the University of Kentucky. I had to work that in.
Thank you very much. You know, when I helped break ground out here, I think nearly 2 years ago, I remember tossing a really nice shovel of dirt. But who would have thought of what the results were going to be? Isn't this grand? Isn't this grand? Actually, a lot of planning and hard work by a whole lot of dedicated people went into making this building and this occasion a reality, and I want to say congratulations to everybody who played a part in this. I especially want to thank the folks at the University of Kentucky, who 3 years ago approached the Commonwealth as a partner in applying for the NIST grant. It just goes to show it never hurts to ask. And that's what we did at that time. We asked. That was just after Secretary Hayes and I had first traveled to Argonne National Laboratory near Chicago in 2008 to tour their amazing research facilities there. We talked with Argonne officials about our nation's need to develop better materials and more efficient manufacturing processes for America's batteries of the future. We talked about how nice it would be to have a research facility dedicated to just those tasks. And as we were talking, I was thinking, it never hurts to ask. Well, we asked. And as a result, today, we are celebrating the opening of not only a terrific building for the Center for Applied Energy Research, but also in this building, one of the nation's first federal battery manufacturing research and development laboratories. It is a perfect fit. The CAER building is dedicated to research in biomass and biofuels, as well as in advanced power generation and storage. The Battery Center will look at ways to produce the batteries that store and deliver that power. Both facilities will be magnets that attract more of the nation's top scientists, technicians, and engineers. They will also help attract grants and other funding for more and larger economic investments that can benefit the Lexington area and the entire Commonwealth for decades to come. We're forever grateful to NIST and the other agencies that help make this building possible. Rodney Andrews and others are going to tell you about this facility and the terrific research that will be performed here. But I want to tell you about the Kentucky Argonne Battery Manufacturing Research and Development Center that will be here. Eric Isaacs is with us. He's the director of the Argonne National Laboratory, and he's traveled here from Chicago and will be adding his own thoughts here in a few minutes. The Kentucky Argonne Battery Center was created to become the nation's leading research and development institution dedicated to finding new manufacturing processes for lithium-ion batteries and other types of energy storage devices. These new batteries are cleaner and greener and have a longer lifespan than traditional types. Yet, they need an even longer life. They still need to be smaller. They still need to be cheaper. And they need to be produced more cost efficiently, not in Asia, but here in the United States of America. The Battery Center here will be a leading supporter of our nation's manufacturing industry and will help position America and Kentucky as leaders in developing the next generation of energy-efficient vehicles. This will enhance U.S. energy independence, reduce greenhouse gases, and show the world that American know-how, and more specifically Kentucky know-how, is second to none. A few years ago, Energy and Environment Secretary Lynn Peters and I prepared a 7-part comprehensive plan on Kentucky's energy future. The Battery Center is another tool to help us accomplish the goals laid out in that plan. The center also represents an investment in Kentucky's economic future because public research facilities can be huge economic engines. It's well documented that when the number of public research facilities increases in a region, so does private investment in R&D. Private, high-tech businesses and researchers are attracted to the knowledge generated by public research, and they like to license that technology to bring it to market. The result here will be an overall increase in the number of companies and jobs, high-value companies and high-salary jobs. We've already had a high-tech company move to Kentucky because of this battery lab, even before the facility opened. Engimat officials plan to lease access to the center's expertise and resources so that they can develop advanced energy storage materials for use in next-generation batteries. They're just the first of many we expect to come calling. That's why I say that as excited as we are about these new facilities and capabilities, the energy industry and the automotive industry will be even more thrilled. Here in Lexington and across Kentucky, we're going to help them change the world. Thank you very much.
Our next speaker is Mayor Jim Gray from Lexington. He was the CEO of Gray Construction, which is one of the leading, nation's leading builders of large-scale manufacturing facilities. So that's a nice match with what we're aiming to do here. His administration right now is investigating building an arts and cultural district centered around downtown in Rupp Arena, and he's been a fantastic supporter of the programs here.
Thank you, sir. Thanks so much, Rodney. And, you know, it was great to hear that extraordinary history, David Drake, that you shared with us on the last 40 years that brings us to an event like today that we're celebrating. And then, Governor, for you to share with us what this installation represents today. And I think President Capilouto, you know what that means, Speaker Stumbo, for all that you've done and the legislature has done to support this project and projects just like it. Nothing, in my view, I think, says more about it with an exclamation point on it, Governor, to everything you just said and what David said, than the presence today of a fellow named Ted Miller, who I just met, fortunately, because Jay Morgan introduced him to me. Ted is the #1 guy for battery technology for Ford Motor Company, not just in the United States, but across the universe. And why is that a big deal? Well, you know, it illustrates the significance that everything the governor was saying is for real. It's true. This is a big deal. We are at the right place at the right time. Fortunately, Margaret Hammaker is here, who is doing a wonderful job in leading the BEAM project, the work between Louisville and Lexington, to recognize the significance and the opportunities associated with advanced manufacturing in every respect. And Margaret knows the story of being in Detroit in January of this year at the auto show. Governor, you were there as well. And Jay introduced Greg Fisher, Mayor Fisher, and me to the president of Ford North American, and his name is Mark Fields. And Mark didn't miss a beat when talking about the significance of Kentucky to Ford. Of course, Louisville, but he went right over to Lexington, to Central Kentucky, to the alliance and the partnership with Ford, with Toyota today, in developing new battery technologies for lighter, more fuel efficient vehicles. And what Mark Fields said, who is, some say, the heir apparent, I don't know, but some say it's sometimes written in the publications in Automotive News and New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, that he may be the next CEO, chairman of Ford. And what he said was that you guys are right in the center of the universe. What it's all about today in the automotive industry is creating lighter vehicles, more fuel-efficient vehicles, and battery technology. So, Governor confirms everything you said is correct. We're at the right place at the right time. Thank you all so much.
Always appreciate enthusiasm. The next speaker I'd like to ask to come up is Speaker of the House, Greg Stumbo. He's a native of Prestonsburg, served as Assistant County Attorney, Attorney General, and has been in the House of Representatives 12 terms between 1980 to 2003, and then where he was the longest serving Majority Leader, and then he returned to the House after ending his Attorney General term to be Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations to everyone. I recall when Governor Beshear told me about the possibilities of the lithium battery coming here, the technology, I remarked to him that in my judgment that may have been the most significant economic development opportunity that's happened to Kentucky since Toyota. I had the privilege of sponsoring the incentive package for Governor Collins that brought Toyota here. So, Governor, thank you for your efforts. I'm going to be brief because, to be honest with you, I didn't have a darn thing to do with building this building. But I want to recognize two people that did. One is not with us today. We will celebrate and memorialize him in a tribute at the Capitol later this afternoon. That's Mike Hayden. And for those of you who didn't know Mike, Rocky Adkins, who helped carry the body into the rotunda a few minutes ago, and therefore he could not be here, wanted me to make sure to share with you some information about the impact that Mike Hayden had on developing a lot of the policies that ultimately have led to this type of endeavor. Dr. Capilouto at the university level, Rocky Adkins working with Mike Hayden as his chief of staff in the Majority Floor Leader's office while I was Attorney General, and therefore I didn't have anything to do with that legislation and wouldn't claim that I did. But those two men working together along with his other staff really have created some programs that puts Kentucky on the forefront of clean energy technology. We obviously are blessed with natural resources in this state. We're looking for new opportunities, as this whole project implies. I still believe that coal has a very bright future in Kentucky and in America, and I'm sure that part of this research effort will be to look at ways that we can clean it, we can burn it cleanly. I think there are vast amounts of untapped reserves in Kentucky that maybe we can't mine now with the technology that we have, but if we can put a rover in a crater on Mars, we can surely to goodness mine coal below the current water levels that makes it inaccessible at this particular point with the technology that we have. But congratulations to all of you. Congratulations to Mike Hayden for the fine work that he did, not only on this project, but so many others across the state. Congratulations to Rocky Adkins. We are truly blessed to have Rocky Adkins as part of the General Assembly. I've said this time and time again, you know, as we travel the country and we look at other states and what they're doing in energy, it's nice to know that we have a legislator who knows as much, and I believe more, than any other legislator in America on energy, and that's Rocky Adkins. Let's give Rocky Adkins a big hand. He's really been a leader in this. Congratulations. It just seems like yesterday, Governor, we were here. I didn't get quite the shovel of dirt that you did because you and Rocky kind of nudged me out a little bit, but that's okay. Thank you, congratulations, and God bless you.
At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce the 12th President of the University of Kentucky, Dr. Eli Capilouto. Dr. Capilouto was Provost at the University of Alabama before coming to Lexington. Since he's been here, he has really focused on enhancing UK's undergraduate experience. I will also say that he and I spent a fun-filled 14 days in China. I think I dragged him through more coal processing and conversion facilities than he ever thought he would do as president. Very much appreciate that. Dr. Capilouto.
Thank you, Rodney, and I want to thank everyone here. I am a new Kentuckian, but listening to the history that David Drake shared and the compelling message of our governor, I'm reminded of the lessons that have meant the most to me since I've arrived. And I really knew about them before I got here. What are those lessons? We have a precious legacy to preserve. And what is it built upon? At the end of the day, regardless of where we sit, we all stand for what's best for the state of Kentucky and for our country. And the other message that is so important at a time where you need to bring together disciplines and partners to solve the solutions of the day is we were collaborating before collaborating was cool. And if you look of all the marvelous things that are going to happen at this facility that our previous speakers have mentioned, I want you to always remember all the different agencies and organizations that are represented on this exhibit over here. Look who came together to make something magical happen in Kentucky. And the mayor is right. What happens here is noticed around the world. I did travel with Rodney, and I will consider Rodney and another one of our energy researchers here, Kunli Liu, who I did travel with, as energy research rock stars. When you're in China, they know what they've written, they know about their expertise, they know they want to partner. China shares many of the same issues that we face, but at even greater magnitudes. China, it's estimated, is going to spend $500 billion or $1 trillion in this type of energy research in the next 5 years. That's several hundredfold more than our budgets are going to allow. But partnering with our scientists and learning from one another, we're going to make our state and this world a better place. About the partners that always come together here in Kentucky, I want to recognize Leader Adkins again. The first time I met with him, I've never seen someone so passionate about an issue, and I'm sorry he can't share this moment today. And although Speaker Stumbo says he didn't have much to do with it, I've learned since I have gotten here, he has a lot to do with everything. So, and Governor Beshear has stood tall on this issue and so many others. But it takes a team in Kentucky in our legislature, and I want to recognize Senators Turner and Stein, who are here, and Representative Coombs, because they've been helpful to me and our university. And Mayor Gray and I talk frequently on a variety of issues I can assure you that we both care about Lexington, but we care about our state as well. And then our partners who are here today from Argonne and NIST, Stella, Fiotes, thank you for being here and your support and guidance, and Eric Isaacs, who we're going to hear from. In closing, let me say, since I arrived at Kentucky, I recognize how much a promise is represented in the work of the University of Kentucky. And we want to pull together the talent to be able to partner with all of you to fulfill a promise that was birthed 150 years ago, that regardless of how challenging the times are, we want to be that shining beacon that helps guide our way forward. Thank all of you for being here today. Thank you for your partnership.
Next, I'd like to introduce Dr. Eric Isaacs. He's a physicist from the University of Chicago who's now gone on to be director of Argonne National Laboratory. Eric has been very instrumental in developing the partnership between Kentucky and Argonne. And appreciate you coming.
Thank you. Good afternoon. So, Governor, this really is a great day. For 2 centuries, Kentucky has been a leader in applying energy for our nation. Since 1820, as many of you know, this state has provided coal to the nation, which has provided electricity across the whole country and will continue to do so for many years to come. And now, Kentucky is establishing a leadership role in another vital sector, particularly advanced batteries. So by building a partnership, and the partnership's important, we've heard that throughout the discussion today, between the Commonwealth of Kentucky, between the University of Kentucky, Louisville, Argonne, and I want to highlight also with industry, we're really creating an opportunity here that exists almost nowhere else in the world. So let me just say a few words about advanced batteries, since I'm the physicist, I guess, on the panel here. Today, batteries, we have members of Ford here, today batteries in a car, in an electric vehicle, will propel us about 40 miles. That's not enough. We need 400 miles. So to go from 40 to 400 miles will take tremendous innovation. There's a real challenge there. And the advantage of a building like this is it'll help us address that challenge. Partially because the challenges are in science. We need new materials, and the governor mentioned this. We need new chemistries. We need new engineering designs. But equally important, and perhaps more important to our colleagues in industry, is that we need to demonstrate that once we have those materials, once we have those great ideas, that we can actually translate them into something that's manufacturable. This center gives us that capability. This center will be a place where our ideas, whether it's at Argonne, whether it's at University of Kentucky or Louisville, our ideas can be tested in a real environment to ensure a place like Ford or ensure a place like GM that they can actually mass produce those batteries. And that, to me, is what's so important about an existence like this, a facility like this. This partnership is really designed, as I've said, to secure U.S. energy independence, to reduce greenhouse gases, meaning going from a combustion engine to a motor, and to strengthen the economy. Our goal is really to develop a battery, very aggressively develop batteries that will transform not just transportation, not just the grid, but also really impact manufacturing in this country and therefore impact the economy. In particular, UK's Center for Applied Energy Research is providing a focal point for both coal and energy research in Kentucky, and there's a few things that make it special, and you've heard about this already. I just need to repeat them because they're very important. First and foremost, this place will make it easier for federal labs, and there are a number represented here, for federal labs, for universities, for manufacturers, for suppliers and end users to work in the same place. It's very rare anywhere in this country, anywhere in this world, as you travel around, to find one place under one roof where you can have all of those people together. You can have Professor Andrews working together with somebody who comes out of an assembly line at Ford. That is absolutely transformative, and that will be possible here. So we're very excited about working in that environment, in that milieu. It bridges the gap, as I've already said, between research and commercialization, because those people are there having coffee together, they're there thinking together, they're really creating an environment, a unique environment that'll make things really move. And so the end result of this is to accelerate commercialization of the ideas we have, accelerate commercialization of the technologies that get developed at universities like UK and Louisville, that get developed at places like Argonne National Labs. It'll give us a venue, it'll give us an acceleration ramp, basically to get those things out to industry. So the Kentucky Argonne Battery Manufacturing Research and Development Center, which we're here to talk about, is part of a historic, focused effort to transform our nation's energy landscape in both transportation and the grid. And I too want to commend the governor for being focused on this for so many years. I want to commend Secretary Peters, Representative Atkins, the mayor. I've never heard a group of people so aligned, parties aside. You can come to Chicago and we have common parties, and the mayor and our governor, we don't always have as clean a conversation, though we're getting there. It's remarkable how aligned people are here. So one of the reasons that my colleagues and I enjoy coming here is that everybody seems, certainly when it comes to batteries, to talk the very same story. So we're very proud to be your partners. We're very much looking forward to a great success, and congratulations to all of you.
Our last speaker, invited speaker for this event, is probably the star of the show today. This is Stella Fiotes from NIST. She's their Chief Facilities Management Officer. She oversees about $2.2 billion in facilities. They've been a wonderful partner to work with in putting this project together. This has been just a great partnership. And since I saw that Dean Speaks was here, I will point out that she has a master's in architecture and urban design from the Technical University of Berlin.
Thank you very much and good afternoon. I'm delighted to be here to represent the National Institute of Standards and Technology and the U.S. Department of Commerce on this occasion. It's a particular pleasure for me since I was here about 2 years ago when we broke ground to see this project turn around and come to its completion so almost seamlessly, because no project is completely seamless. At the time, I believe, we were breaking ground, I said we were celebrating more than just the construction of a new state-of-the-art research facility for energy research. We were celebrating the public good that can be done with investments in science and technology. During its span, the NIST Research Construction Grants Program helped to fund either new construction or expansion at 24 research facilities across the country, mostly universities. There were large awards and smaller awards, and the research fields we touched ran a gamut from marine ecology to quantum physics to earthquake simulation to nanoscale measurement. What they had in common, and what they have in common with this facility, was the creation of modern, state-of-the-art lab space, practical research facilities to do the work of science. The overarching goal was to help the U.S. produce world-leading research in science and technology and to advance economic growth and international competitiveness. You've heard and will see, I'm sure, many of the research features that make this laboratory special. I'm particularly impressed by the new dry lab for advanced battery research that I understand is 8 times drier than the Sahara Desert. We're excited to see this new laboratory open and begin hosting research into renewable energy and energy storage. This work will complement NIST's measurement research in support of clean technologies and energy efficiency. In fact, in a few weeks, we hope to be dedicating a new lab of our own at the Gaithersburg campus in Maryland, the Net Zero Energy Residential Test Facility that we'll be using to develop and demonstrate the measurement science needed to achieve net zero energy residential homes. A significant part of that research will be advancing the models used to predict annual energy production of solar energy systems. So I imagine there will be many future opportunities for us to work together in this area that is so vital to our nation. I have to add also that professionally, and as Rodney mentioned, I am the Chief Facilities Manager at NIST. I'm also an architect. I'm extremely impressed with the new laboratory's architectural design and, in particular, its energy efficiency. The features of this building that will enable a 54% energy usage reduction compared with equivalent buildings of its size also complement NIST's efforts in energy conservation. And that's a big thing. In the U.S. energy economy, buildings, both residential and commercial, consume an estimated 40% of all energy use in the United States. That's more energy consumption than either the industrial or transportation sectors. Everything we do that brings that down is a win for all, and this facility will definitely achieve that. So congratulations on your new energy lab. We at NIST are very proud to have played a part in making it possible, and we look forward to new and continuing collaborations between our organizations. Thank you very much, and congratulations.
I sort of promised to keep this short. As the last person up to speak, I really want to thank the people who've been involved in bringing this together. This is obviously an important event in the development of the Center for Applied Energy Research and energy research at UK and in the Commonwealth. A lot of people to thank for this. Governor Beshear for his foresight in prioritizing energy research in the Commonwealth. Energy and Environment Secretary Len Peters, who worked with us to bring a competitive package for this proposal together. That was a great partnership. Secretary Hayes, who could not make it today, from the Economic Development Cabinet, who remained an enthusiastic supporter throughout the effort. I'd also like to recognize a couple of the special guests we have with us today. Dr. Ralph Broad, who provided critical leadership in starting the Battery Center and organizing it, and Jim Greenberger, who is here from NatBat Alliance, who's been critical in supporting the formation of the Kentucky Argonne Partnership. Perhaps most importantly to me, I want to thank the researchers who dropped everything they had to do for 2 months and did the most critical of all the activities that got us here today. They wrote the proposal that got funded to pay for the building. And they allowed us to compete for and win the grant from NIST. Their research programs really are world-class, and because of that, we were able to convince NIST of the importance of the work that they would do and what this facility will allow them to do in the future. They're Dr. Steve Lipka from our Power Sources group, Dr. John Anthony from the Department of Chemistry, Dr. Mark Crocker from our biofuels program. And I really want to especially thank Don Chalman, who did put in a lot of extraordinary efforts to pull all the stuff that we came up with and put it into a coherent proposal that met all the requirements to compete. I also want to thank Wayne Ritchie and Gus Miller from the Provost's office and Katie Riley from the UK Office of Sponsored Projects. They're the ones who kept us clean on doing all this and made sure all of our reports went on time and all the other things that go with it. I'd also really like to thank my boss, Dr. Jim Tracy, the Vice President for Research. He supported this project throughout, and I don't think ever once said no as long as it was important. Additionally, this day couldn't be possible without the incredible design, engineering, and construction team that we used. I'd like to personally thank Courtney Fisk, who was the center's program manager and engineer in charge for this. She remained dedicated to this project for over 2 years and basically played a very important role of keeping everyone calm in those moments when one of my brilliant ideas was shot down. She did a remarkable job throughout, and if she did get comp time, I don't think we would see her for about a year. Keith Ingram, Dal Clark, and Marika Stein from UK Capital Project Management have been with us all along. Tim Murphy and Jessica Walker from Murphy Graves Architects. They have been just fantastic to work with, and you can see the results of their hard work here. Kevin Musler, Chris Reeves, and Alan Kellum from CMTA Consulting Engineers, both for their work on the building systems as well as their encouragement with the lead features that we wanted to take. Jason Cruz, Aaron Sloan, and Larry Blackburn from Turner Construction, and Mike Diestel, Adam Kaiser, and Elizabeth Otwell from NIST. For being program managers, they managed to turn review meetings into something to look forward to. And finally, we hope you will all join us now for a reception. Inside, there's stuff on the first and second floor, and a walk through the facility. There won't be any formal tours today, but we would be very happy to schedule individual tours with anyone who would like one at a later time. The research program students and staff will be in the halls to describe what they're doing. You can see some of the projects they're working on. And again, thank you for attending.